Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 2 review and my Game Week 3 team selection for you guys. Honestly, the game week was going really well up until Monday night, so I was really buzzing to make this video, gonna record, had my triple Liverpool assets, ready for that Monday night. I was gonna have a massive score, and then we all know what happened. So let's get straight into it. So here is my Game Week 2 squad. And to be fair, it's not actually that bad. 66 points, 57 being the average, slightly above average. I have gained 1.5 million places, pretty significant rank rise. So overall, wasn't too bad of a game week. I think it's just because of those poor performances on Monday from the Liverpool players. But to be fair, not much rank was gained from other players during that Liverpool game, apart from obviously Diaz. Absolute beauty of a goal, definitely on my radar to bring him in. But let's start off at the back. Raya in goal, really happy with those 7 points from him. Brentford looked fantastic during the Man United game, even getting a save point. He was one off getting a bonus point too, so really happy with Raya. In a game week where a lot of goalkeepers absolutely smashed it, the likes of Sarr, Henderson, Pope, all getting double digits, I'm still happy with Raya's 7 points. The 4.5 million keeper, good value for his price. Really happy with that. Alexander-Arnold with 3 points. Despite the terrible Liverpool performance, he still managed to get a bonus point. Not quite sure how, considering the likes of Zaha didn't get any bonus and he scored a goal. He wasn't even on the sheet for bonus points, like he wasn't even close to getting a bonus point, which is bizarre given he scored a goal in a 1-1. But anyway, it just shows the attacking potential of Alexander-Arnold, so I'm happy with holding him for now. I think the clean sheets will start to come for Liverpool, personally, and his value is just too high. I remember every time I've sold him, he has absolutely smashed it. So he's definitely still staying in my team for now. Cancelo, 11 points, doing what he does best, to be honest, getting a clean sheet, getting an assist, getting bonus. Double-digit haul for him. It's far too easy for him. He just gets one assist and the team keeps a clean sheet and there you go, double-digit haul. He's so worth the 7 million for that Man City defence as well and the attacking threat. He's a great pick, definitely keeping him in the team. Walker, I decided to go with on the wild card. Over Diaz to save 1 million. They both got the same points. So that was a decent pick. I will say the wild card itself probably wasn't a great idea in hindsight. Not too many changes. It was mainly to accommodate Darwin Núñez. As you can see, that didn't go too well. But I'll do an overview of the wild card after I've gone through all the players. But Walker, yep, solid 6-pointer. I might be looking to switch him. He's not a definite stay in my team, but you know, for 5 million, I think getting 6 points all the time is very good. Zinchenko getting 1 point, bit disappointed with the Arsenal defence. Leicester's attack is still pretty good despite their defence being very shaky. Honestly, I think they're the new Leeds, with their defence being really shaky and their attack being pretty good. I expected them to concede. I hoped he'd somehow get an attacking return. Not to be, but I'm happy sticking with him in my team, considering they've got Bournemouth next week. Salah, captain blank. I remember last year in the first, I think, 18 game weeks, I captained Salah 16 times and he only blanked once. And that was in game week 2. And surprise, surprise, the exact same thing has happened yet again. I've not really too much to say on that. If I hadn't captained Salah, I would have captained Haaland. He didn't do much better. So I'm not too sad about the Salah blank because I wasn't punished too heavily on that front. But I think I will continue to captain Salah, especially now that Núñez cannot play in the next 3 games given his straight red card. So I think he'll be a much better attacking asset for Liverpool. Definitely staying in my team for now. Harrison was my outside punt for the week. 4 points. In hindsight, Rodrigo would have been a better choice. I was definitely choosing between the two of them. I wasn't expecting Bamford to get injured during the game, Rodrigo to play more attacking and then score 2 goals. He's definitely a great pick for now, although Chelsea next week I'm probably going to bench Harrison for that Chelsea game. But yeah, 4 points was okay. Getting an assist, his assist potential looked great. That's why I picked him. I thought a bit of a Kevin De Bruyne. If Leeds are going to be scoring goals, he's going to be assisting them. So 4 points was all right. I think he'll tick over with the points. I think he's a good choice, and he'll sit on my bench for the next week, but I think he's okay to keep in the team. Martinelli with 8 points, really happy with him. Took out Saka on the wild card to bring in Martinelli, saving 2 million and gaining 6 points on Saka. He just looks so much more attacking than Saka, in my opinion. Saka is playing much further out wide, and the main attacking assets for Arsenal are Martinelli and Jesus. They're far higher up the pitch. And yeah, Saka is playing far wider, so he's probably going to be getting more assists. But I think Martinelli is playing so well at the moment. I can see the goals still coming in for him. I don't think he's going to be replaced in the starting lineup for now, before the midweek games. So yeah, I think he's a good pick. Definitely worth the 6 million in the team. He is staying. Darwin. Yeah, I mean, what good can be said about Darwin? Saw his performance against Fulham, wanted to get him in, wanted to get ahead of the crowd before everyone started bringing him in. Hope he'd haul against Crystal Palace. Had a lot of chances, to be fair. Just his shooting is not up to scratch. He's really not. He's not fully comfortable at the moment. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's he's not used to playing in such a tough league. I'm not too sure what it is at the moment. But yeah, an absolute moment of madness from him, completely destroying my game week and destroying my transfer plans, which we'll get onto in a minute. But yeah, he had a shocker of a performance, given that red card just before the 60-minute mark as well. So he gets -2. Definitely going to be leaving my team, as he's not going to be playing for the next 3 weeks. Haaland getting 5 points, transferred him in right after the previous Man City game, only getting 5 points, probably a big shock, given that Man City scored 4 goals, only getting 1 assist for Haaland. I'm not too fussed with the 5 points. It's points gained. Actually, no, it's not points gained because Kane scored a goal, so it's actually 3 points lost. But I'm still happy to have him in my team. Fixtures look good. I think people keep bringing up the fact he only had 8 touches in the game. I wouldn't look into that, because if you look at those 8 touches, most of them are a goal scoring opportunity. So I think that just tells you that Haaland is going to be potentially scoring a lot of goals, despite the fact he's not having many touches of the ball. So I would definitely still hold on to him for now. And then the absolute star of the game week, Gabriel Jesus, having a fantastic performance against Leicester. So glad I kept him in my team. I had a poll on my Twitter. I was choosing whether I wanted to keep Saka or Jesus on the wild card, and unanimously it was Jesus that people told me to keep. And before that point, I was probably going to go with Saka, but oh my gosh, Jesus is incredible for Arsenal. He is such a good attacking asset. 2 goals, 2 assists, and honestly, that was a big disappointment. If he'd been finishing off all of his chances, he genuinely could have got high 30s in the points. He had so many chances during that game, again against a weak Leicester side, but they're playing Bournemouth next week. I think Jesus is a really good captaincy shout for next week. And fair play if you captained him this week, considering he blanked in the first game week. That was massive props to you if you did that. And then moving on to the bench, as you can see, absolute nightmare. 19 points in total on my bench. They had a field day. I think I should have started all. I think during points difference, I could have started all 3 of the bench players, apart from maybe Andreas. Actually, no, Andreas would have stayed on the bench to have the highest points. But yeah, I mean, I was happy with the team with only Zinchenko, Nunez, and I guess Alexander-Arnold blanking. Oh, and Salah, of course. Yes, actually, yes. I forgot Salah actually got 2 points. It's because it's doubled. But yeah, my bench having oh my gosh, my bench having a absolute field day. Nico Williams, Forest somehow keeping that clean sheet against West Ham. Fair play if you started him. And De Silva again scoring a goal on my bench. When will I learn? 14 points in total from him. Been on my bench both game weeks. Getting Livramento vibes from him. Exactly the same thing happened with Livramento. Every time I didn't start him, he returned. Every time I did start him, he blanked. So I am debating whether I want to start him next week, given how well he's playing. I know that Damsgaard, I think, plays in his position that Brentford have recently signed, so his limits might be limited. But he's playing very well, so I think he will probably start the next game. But we'll get into that. With the wildcard overall, I did have the scores here. So the wildcard changes overall in the starting lineup. Diaz out for 6 points. For Walker, 6 points. No gain there. Robertson out, 2-pointer for Zinchenko's 1. A loss of 1 point there. Saka out, 2 points for Martinelli's 8. Which is a gain of 6 points. That was probably the only good move that I made. Neto out with 3 points for Harrison, 4 points, so a gain of 1 there. Bay out. All those downgrades are made, so I could go from Bay, who got 2 points, to Darwin, who got -2 points. Didn't think I'd be saying that at the start of last week. So yeah, a loss of 4 points there. And even Kane to Haaland. Kane getting 8 points, Haaland getting 5. Another loss of 3 points. So overall, my wildcard team has actually got 1 less point than my non-wildcarded team. If I made no transfers, that is. I would have always done Kane to Haaland. So it's I've probably gained 2 points, to be honest. But if I hadn't done a thing, I would have gotten 1 more point. Yeah. So the wild card was definitely a waste, if I'm perfectly honest, because I wouldn't be bringing in Darwin now. The Diaz Walker move was very, very minimal. Harrison didn't really punish. It's only Martinelli is the only bright side from doing this wild card. Game week 1 I've played too safe, and game week 2 I've played far too risky. But we have to move on to further game weeks. I don't have to worry about the wild card now, at least. Now that it's out the way. But yeah, bit of a poor performance there. Obviously, the likes of Jesus, Raya, and Cancelo having a great game week for me. But yeah, Darwin absolutely ruined what could have been a brilliant game week. So moving on to my game week 3 team. It's currently on a 5-3-2 formation. It will not be staying at this formation because obviously I've got to figure out what I'm doing with Darwin. Who I'm going to transfer him to. So it will probably not be a 5-3-2 formation. I don't like playing 5 at the back, but to be honest, I'm quite confident about all of those potentially keeping a clean sheet. Raya putting in a great performance against Man United, looking good against Fulham. Liverpool and City defence can be strong on this day. Maybe Liverpool's a bit shaky at the moment though. Arsenal playing Bournemouth, definitely get a clean sheet there. And Forest defence looking great against a Everton side who are really lacking up top. So potentially a clean sheet there. I've got De Silva in the starting lineup as well. Out of my bench players, he's probably the most likely I'd play, given how good he's been at the moment. I'd probably play him over the likes of Andreas just because he's got that knock. I think he has more potential for getting points than Andreas does, and Harrison with that Chelsea fixture, not too sure about playing him. Could be a good differential to play. But yeah, De Silva is currently in the starting lineup. Very happy with the rest of the team. Obviously, Darwin is the player I'm looking to transfer out, potentially either for someone cheaper to upgrade somewhere else, or just doing a straight swap to someone and keeping that money in the bank. The one good thing the wildcard was for was raising my squad value. It's up to 100.3, and I've got 0.3 in the bank as well. Darwin is expected to go down pretty soon, so that might decrease if I don't move quickly. But honestly, I'm quite happy with how the team is looking, and obviously it can be better with Darwin. Not too sure if I want to take a hit. I was planning on rolling the transfer up until Monday evening. But happy with how the team looks. Aside from the fact everyone has an away fixture, if you watch my previous videos, I think that the home advantage is massive this year. I think the home teams have a really strong advantage with how loud the crowd is this year. So I think all these teams playing away is a bit of a hindrance. I think the teams will definitely struggle quite a bit more. in some cases, I don't think it's fully relevant, but especially in the close games, maybe the Brentford-Fulham game and maybe Nottingham Forest-Everton, there might be some changes there to how well the teams perform. But yeah, all right with how the team is currently looking. Haven't made a transfer yet. I'm sticking with the Salah captaincy against Man United. I think with Darwin out of the team, Salah is going to be much higher up the pitch, much more of an attacking asset. And I think he still looked great in the Crystal Palace game. Just didn't get any goals. And I mean, we know what happened with Jesus last week. So I think the goals will come for him. Definitely looking at Jesus as a potential captaincy against Bournemouth. He just looks so good. It will definitely between those two. Not thinking of captaining Haaland this week. I think Newcastle's defence look pretty strong. I don't think City will score many goals in that game. Could be completely wrong. But at the moment, it's between those two, or maybe someone I bring in. But I don't have the funds to go up to someone like Kane. But let's talk a bit more about my transfer plans. So as of Tuesday, when I'm recording this, this is my current thoughts for transfers. Taking a -4 hit and taking out Darwin and Harrison, taking Darwin down to Tony, who's looked, I think, really good for Brentford, having a Brentford triple up there, and bringing in Luis Diaz for Liverpool. I still like having the Liverpool triple up. I think Diaz has looked fantastic, and I think now with Núñez out of the side, I think Diaz becomes a great attacking asset, pretty much completely nailed, I'd say now as well. So definitely looking at him, swapping back to having that 8 million mid and having a cheaper striker up front. I do like the look of this team. Obviously taking the -4 I'm not too happy with. The reason I'd like to do this is because I just think having Diaz in the midfield rather than having one of my 4.5 million midfielders looks so much stronger. Even though it's worth 4 points, I think he can definitely outscore them by 4 points. And Tony's probably the striker I'm looking at bringing in for Núñez. I don't have the funds to go up to Kane, and I would have 2 million in the bank. So I could also upgrade the likes of De Silva or probably Andreas. Actually, I think I prefer having De Silva. Maybe getting rid of De Silva to not have the Brentford triple up, but honestly, I think Brentford are looking great, so I don't mind that too much. But maybe swapping one of my 4.5 million midfielders for, I believe that's 6.8 million I'd have. So one of the 6.5 million midfielders. There's not too many options that I like the look of. So this is probably my favoured moves at the moment. I could also upgrade Nico Williams to a Reece James. That's also something I could do if I downgrade Núñez to Tony. That's definitely something else I'd like the look of. I think Chelsea's defence are going to start keeping a lot more clean sheets now. So this is my favoured transfer moves at the moment. Obviously, getting rid of Harrison when I've just got him in isn't great, but then again, I'm having to get rid of Núñez, who I've just got in too, to amend the mistakes that I've made on the wild card. Captain would still be Salah at the moment. I think he is the best captaincy pick this week. Then again, I thought he's the best captaincy pick the previous 2 weeks. So yeah, at the moment, that's where my head is at. Let me know what you guys think of this team, and let's have a look at who was the best team in the mini league this week. So despite the fact that Vardy's Nuts is still leading the league, 1 point behind is Eddie Mijatovic with the team name Captain Barbosa, having a very solid game week with 83 points. He was the top scoring team in my mini league this week, which you can join in the league code down there if you want to potentially be featured in one of these videos. So let's have a look at Eddie's team. Sanchez in goal, doing great, getting that clean sheet. Walker as well, doing the business, and Trippier, brilliant pick at 5 million. 3 points from Trent as well, 1 point from Zinchenko. He obviously did quite well last week. Not so good with Zinchenko this week, but still very solid from the back line. Obviously, the big difference there being Captain Kevin De Bruyne. Brilliant captaincy pick there for you. Having the double premium midfield as well, going against Haaland and Kane. I think De Bruyne's actually outscored Haaland at the moment, so great choice for you there. Going for the captaincy there. Diaz as well, putting in a great shift, and obviously having Jesus to really lift up the points there. probably couldn't have had the best team of the week if you didn't have Jesus in the team. Coutinho being the only unfortunate player there, getting injured at the 59-minute mark, so getting yellow carded with a 0-pointer when he was so close to getting points. I imagine that's where your transfer is going to be this week. He does have one transfer. He does have one free transfer. His transfer this week was cash to Trippier, which was a great move. Really like that. Trippier with the 7 points has been a great asset. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of rough fixtures coming up, so I don't know if you're going to bench him this week. But yeah, and then Nico Williams, unfortunately, it would have been so good to have Nico Williams there instead of Coutinho to get you up to 90 points. But still a very solid week with 83 points, 149 overall, 1 point behind the league leader, and a game week rank of 328,000. Very, very solid game week for you. So that is it for my game week 2 game week review and my game week 3 team selection for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Get down in the comments with your team score this week. Did you have any transfer howlers like I did? I know there's some people out there who did Jesus to Darwin for a hit. 25-point difference that. So it could definitely be worse. Not a great game week for me, but you know, Fantasy Football Premier League is not determined in a single week. It's determined by 38 game weeks, and you'll always everyone who wins Fantasy Premier League always has a bad week. So it's good for you guys to get that out early if that's the case. But yeah, let me know what you guys how many points you got this week. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more weekly content, and I'll see you in the next FPL video.